My name is Bruce Kastle, and I'm about to be interviewed by Bobby Fazio.
All right, we're here at the 2023 NHRA Nationals Route 66 Raceway here in Joliet, Illinois. So glad to have this track back on the Camping World circuit. Walking around looking at these Stock Eliminator cars. Now, has anybody ever seen a 1971 Mercury Cougar competing in Stock Eliminator? Because I haven't. But Bruce Kastle here is competing in one. Let's talk to Bruce about it. Bruce, how you doing?
Best day of my life.
Right. Now, Bruce got past first round, right?
Yes,
Nice.
I did.
Nice run there.
I like it.
Red light victory? They're the best kind, right?
Yeah.
They're the best kind.
We got the second qualifier canceled, so I got mine.
You got yours. Excellent. All right, Bruce, let's take a look at your Mercury Cougar here. Which combination are you running with the car?
This right now I have a 351 Cleveland, 71 351 Cleveland, 285 horse engine, which was I guess it was the least popular. It has a smaller lift cam, but we've seemed to work our way around that.
What is the lift on the cam?
It's 430 on the intake and 450 on the exhaust.
Ah, okay, who builds the engines?
I do. A friend of mine I've been dealing with, machinist, good machinist, Ted Papaga of Opal Engineering in Streamwood, does the machine work. And
Nice.
I didn't know how good he was till I retired and had the time to double check all his measurements, and boy, they were right on. So you got to stick with him. I've been dealing with him since 1975.
I like these valve covers here. They look pretty OEM.
Yeah, everything. I try to make everything look as OEM as possible. That doesn't, the chrome and all that stuff doesn't make it go any faster.
Got that nice Ford blue.
Yep.
What kind of carburetor is on one of these?
I've got the alternate carburetor, which is basically a 780 Holly.
All right, so they're allowing aftermarket for this.
Well, it was one of those deals where they had a optional intake manifold that was available on the over the counter, I guess, and they allowed the 429 Super Cobra Jet carburetor to be put on them. So I'm not going to argue.
Now, there's a couple different variations of the 351 Cleveland.
Yes.
With different cam lifts.
Cam lift and compression. They have a higher lift motor, a 248 horsepower motor. It's got higher lift cam, but it's got 9.5 to 1 compression. So it's a trade-off. This one's got 10.5 to 1 with a shorter cam, and that's why I tried building it. Nobody seems to run this combination, and I thought compression might make up for the difference on the cam, and it seems to. So.
All right, now you're running H-Stock automatic with it. What is the index and minimum weight for the car?
1215 is the minimum weight, and this thing's, I think, factored 1155, so the minimum weight on the car is 3585.
It is right there. So 285 advertised, horsepower 297,
Yep.
factored horsepower. Let's take a look inside the car. What kind of transmission?
C4.
Do you build those yourself?
I build those myself
All right,
and for others.
Looks like
or
a
I
cool,
have in the past. I'm kind of retired now.
got a stock shifter in here.
Stock shifter, modified it so you can reverse pattern the thing, and you can actually neutral it if you're quick.
Wow, that's cool. Great. Upholstered seats here.
Yep.
Are these the factory seats?
Those are the original seats.
Do we have a back seat in here?
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
I know you like the factory stuff, Bobby.
Yep. Anybody that's seen one of my interviews knows.
That stock steering wheel. I mean, it's.
Yeah, we'll get around to that side. Torque converter. What kind of torque converter are you running?
In there now, I think is an ATI. Yeah.
ATI 8-inch converter, I'm assuming.
8-inch converter.
What kind of RPM then do you turn with the car?
Oh, it, 72, 7300 on a good air run. About 7 at average air through the.
Let's take a look in the trunk here. Got the cell, got a nice Oh, ballast bar here, it looks like.
Yeah, that's a bumper out of a Mercury Mariner we used to have at the dealership. I had to take them out to put trailer hitches on them, so I welded it up, filled it with lead, and it's 140 pounds.
Wow. What kind of rear is in this car?
9-inch, 514 gear, Mosier spool and axles.
Now, how did you acquire this car?
Well, my son, I'm not too much of a computer guy. My son, he looking on the internet and said, hey, this would be a good combination. And so I kept for 2 years looking for a body. And one day one popped up on eBay that was only about 125 miles from my house. So I called the guy and said, can I come look at it? And I went and looked at it, and there it was. It was already painted. He said he had it painted at a community college. It's not a real good. It's good from far from good, but it's it was a solid California car. And he told me a story how he got it was some guy in town had got it from California, and he was letting his kid drive it, and he was in high school, and he said he could keep it as long as he kept his grades up. Well, the kid didn't keep his grades up, and this was a unusual father. He kept his word, and he sold it on him. This old guy bought it as a project, and he was getting older. He had his whole yard he took everything out of his pole barn and had it all across his yard, and he says, I'm more into the Cushman scooters, so this has got to go. It was getting dark, and he let me have a flashlight, and I'm laying underneath looking at the car, and he said, whatever you're looking for, you're not going to find it. It was from California. There's not a speck of rust on this body. It was unbelievable. And he had a minimum bid of $1,972 on eBay, and he said, make me an offer, and you can take it right now. And I offered him $2,300, and he says, load it up. It's been a few bucks more since then.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, right? Now, the heads on the 351 Cleveland, what kind of valve sizes are on there? 219
intake, 171 exhaust.
All right, so
yeah,
slightly bigger than I'm used to. That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Yeah, well, but slightly harder to keep control of too with a aggressive camshaft. So. And especially with the short lift, because you're not gaining a lot, so it's a balancing act of getting enough seat pressure without and enough open pressure without you got to find the right spring rate. So it's a little bit of a trick when you're doing that. But I suppose everybody has that problem. But they don't all have heavy valves like that. So.
Now, what's the quickest and fastest you've gone with the car?
I ran, I don't know, a year or so ago at Gateway. I was at the national event, and I had two heads-ups at the national event, and then I had one at the division race. And quickest I ran was, quickest I had to run was 11:17. I think it was that.
And remind us of that index again for H.
12:50.
12:50. All right, so about.
Yeah, it was like
98 under.
Yeah, it was close to 98 under.
And what kind of mile per hour is the car capable?
The best it's gone is like 119.
Nice.
Ish. Yeah, 118 in high change.
All right. So what kind of how's the bottom end of the motor? What kind of pistons you running? Things like that.
It's got CP pistons and stock rods that I prep myself, and a crank. This is just scraps out of the garage. It was a crank that my machine shop guy gave me because the guy went to a Windsor combination instead of a Cleveland, and it's just a pile of parts. I bought a camshaft, 2 Cometic head gaskets, and threw it together with what I had laying around.
Going 98 under.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe I'll have you throw me one.
By
together.
accident. Everything's by accident.
Right. Now, you got past first round with that red light victory that we so love, on an early morning run like that. Now, who do you have second round?
I think I have Dennis Lund.
All right. What kind of car is Dennis Lund driving?
I think it's a Firebird, isn't it? A late 90s Firebird.
Okay.
It's a A-stocker or something like that.
Oh, so the chase is on then. You'll be around the 1140s area. And
Back when I started racing, you had 1140s. You were always chasing. Now it doesn't make any difference. But it's a little better. I got that pacer I ran a couple of years ago that I built for a buddy of mine, and I ran it at the U.S. Nationals. And you want to talk about a head start? That was.
Yeah. You're at the 8th mile watching the guy leave in the
Oh yeah, you're in high gear, and that guy's sweating. Listening to his two-step boil his trans fluid.
Right. Well, Bruce, we thank you for joining us, spending some time with us. Good luck to you second round tonight. We will try to get a camera in your car, but we have another car that we got to get a camera in. So whoever we can get to first, we'll get the camera in the car.
Great.
If we don't get it in yours, you better win this round so we can get it in your car tomorrow. Okay?
That's what I'm here to do.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Bobby.